We are live for the first time in over 2 weeks. I think last time we talked, Bitcoin was 117, 118. I don't even remember. That seems like ages ago, especially it hasn't just been a normal 2 weeks. It's been 2 straight weeks of conferences. As you can hear, my voice is shot. Jan is not with us. He is a little under the weather today, but I do have the chart master, Andrew, with me here today. Andrew, how you feeling after 2 weeks on the road?
Oh, dude, I'm still freaking tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still catching up on a lot of things here, and yeah, I mean, it's nice to be home finally, and
Agreed.
get some rest here and there. But
Good
yeah,
to
we
be back
definitely
on
missed
with all of you.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually got to meet a few of you guys out and about at KBW and Token. It was a lot of fun. Ate a lot of really good food. Met a lot of great people. Some awesome connections. We've got a whole bunch of new deals, both OTC and M&A secondaries, DATs. Some pipe deals. Lots and lots of business going to be getting done in the next few months. So if you are not already connected with us or subscribed to the Deal Flow channel, the next couple of weeks here is going to be a very, very good time to do so. We've got a lot of high quality stuff coming your way. Going to talk a bit more about what we saw at the conferences, what people are talking about, what's hot, what's not, what we think about the markets after the V-shaped recovery of this tiny little dip we saw in October here. But before we get to all that, I think start as we always do with some charts.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty surprised like how violently we came back up here. When we went to the conference, I think we were like right around here when things were just kind of like falling off. And so, when we look at the Jan barometer study, we were expecting a bit of a sellout coming into October, and then things just kind of rebasing and going sideways up until November. But clearly, as you can see, big FU to the sell-off here. If you look here, we do have this little tiny double bottom. You can kind of consider that a double bottom there. And then obviously now that if you look, you got this even bigger daily W, right? So that's kind of like what we're really playing off of at the moment. Last week, I did talk about when prices were down here, like, we were getting pretty close to this 61.8. But momentum wise, I didn't quite see anything that was like overly, bullish in that sense. Like, it didn't quite have a bullish divergence or anything or any kind of oversold conditions. So, bit of a tricky spot, in my opinion, to try to come in there. But obviously, we missed pretty much most of the move, being away from the charts for a full week there. And yeah, I mean, now things, obviously look pretty bullish, breaking all-time highs, back-to-back days. It doesn't make sense for things to kind of calm down and break back down. Yeah, I do think it's pretty reasonable. This has been a pretty, bullish 2 weeks almost, like just straight up. And so now we are starting to see the first wave of pullback, whether we have to start double topping and fully break down, or this is just one of these quick kind of pullbacks, V-top, and then back up we go. If we're looking at levels, I do like these 38.2 for stop levels. I also like this level here just because of like, generally when you get these big breakouts, you always get a retest, and then it's like what you call the Wyckoff check. Market has to retest and see whether or not this is officially the bottom. So, if the markets do have to pull back down here, this is kind of the range of what I would be eyeing as the first real major support. And then otherwise, if we lose those levels, then you know me, I like to come into these reload zones. They have been consistently pretty good. And it seems like based on this range from this low, these lows seem to be holding up pretty well. So definitely eyeing either this level, 38.2s, or these 61.8s.
Yeah, I know we were all talking before we took off the conferences with this pullback, expecting to come down to that kind of 105 pocket or maybe even down closer to 100K. And yeah, hit 109 basically and rocketed from there. So Kind of caught a lot of people off guard there.
Yeah.
Everybody was pretty excited. Normally token is bearish and everybody's bitching and moaning, but people were pretty excited about the charts. Question though is if I agree, it makes a lot of sense for a pullback here after 2 weeks of up only on Bitcoin. As Bitcoin comes down, what are alts going to do? Are alts going to follow, or is this people selling Bitcoin to get into alts? Are we going to see a little mini alt pump here, or is this time to take what little money we've made on alts in the last week or so and cash out what little we can if Bitcoin's going to pull back here?
Yeah, tough to say right now because we do have these double bottoms working on these alt indexes. And the only thing is like this red one. So this red one is essentially all the coins excluding the top 10 dominance. And as you can see, like most of the alts are pretty much cooked, it looks like, pretty much dead. And only really like the majors are doing okay, or at least holding up. But as you can see, things are pulling back down now again. If we do start putting in those double tops, then you know that the market's kind of cooked. If you start getting those W's in the stablecoin dominance and also within the Bitcoin dominance, then like the alt markets are probably going to get wrecked. I mean, if you look at it right now, things are selling off kind of hard as well, and it's kind of unfortunate because like you get these like big swing moves on Bitcoin and ETH, and you would expect to see explosive move on alts, but we're not really getting that. We're only getting that on like a few names here and there. And then for the most part, things are just kind of stale, right? Like a lot of just sideways kind of type action right now. And, we do have these little double bottoms, that came in last week or a couple weeks ago. And then you have the exceptions like BNB that is just straight up. But for most names, like it looks like they all look the same. They're all just kind of stuck sideways in a range right now. And so now things are kind of just, coming back down again. We had these pretty big moves. And now we're going to probably have to retest to see whether or not this is the bottom or not. And I think a lot of it's also going to rely on ETH and how ETH does here. ETH is looking pretty rough because, like, if you look on a weekly chart, we do have a weekly double top now. Now the market is retesting this and seeing whether this double top structure is valid. If we can break above these highs, then we are safe. If we cannot reclaim above these highs, then I do think like we are, expected to see some more down moves. I did mention once we lost these lows that we should expect a bit more of a selling. And then I was eyeing these 38.2 lows and reload zones, et cetera, et cetera. 200 SMA is still pretty far away as well. So, we still have some time and room here before things get weird. Right now, we are up against a short reload zone. This is where we should expect to see resistance come in. Looks like we failed twice now in trying to break out of these highs. And so now we have to wait and see whether we can consolidate, kind of like how we did back here, or does this start putting in those double tops again, kind of like how we did back here, or back here and stuff. So hopefully it's just a quick little pullback, and then by US session tonight and tomorrow, things can kind of slowly come back up and off we go. But as of right now, like momentum wise, I don't see anything screaming bearish, divs or anything like that. The only thing we have is that we are in bearish location now. So I think we're okay for now. I think, again, this is where we typically would expect to see some, pullbacks. But as long as we don't start getting those double top structures, I think we're okay. So monitoring the charts, watch how the US session opens up today. Yeah, definitely, wouldn't want to be chasing anything here, and probably wait for the pullbacks.
Gonna be a lot of tears on crypto Twitter if we see Bitcoin break back down into like that 115 range, especially if it breaks that 115 range.
Yeah, I'd be more concerned if we broke lower. I mean, if we tag that 115K, that's fine. I think that's like a relatively healthy correction. And then at that point, if we rebase again, if we can start creating double bottoms like this back here, that'll get me quite excited. But we do have this massive W, right? If you go on a weekly chart, that is a weekly W now. And so, weekly Ws are very strong signals generally. And the same thing, double tops, vice versa. But, retest wise, it's also very normal. So at least, if we get a test there, I am going to consider some longs. We'll see how things play out. But I forgot to also explain like some extension levels. So I do have some fib extension levels going up across 133 to 135. And then I have even just slightly higher, some Foggenbaum levels around 162. So I do have some higher upside objectives. If this is to start, blowing off higher, we don't have any higher level resistance at the moment, kind of in price discovery mode right now. So based on these like extension levels, I do think 135K is reasonable. Whether or not we go there straight from here, or we have to do the pullback first and then back and forth. But yeah.
Well, we knew the market wasn't going to make it easy.
No, definitely not.
We were all expecting, expecting a lot deeper dip and a lot longer sideways and down in October. And of course, what does it do? V-shaped recovery, rockets to new all-time high. Now everybody's back on the moon boy train, so it would make sense that we dump back down into oblivion. So that's why we love the game here. Keeps you on your toes, if nothing else. But
no kidding.
I still think whether it's uber bullish blow off top Q4 or it's more sideways, the market was a little fake out pump here, and we can get that longer consolidation through October to November. Either way, it ends up bullish in the next few months here. So patience.
Yeah, I definitely think we should still expect somewhat of a bullish outcome. If you look at Bitcoin seasonality, October is generally pretty bullish. Like almost like every year, it's been a very bullish month. But maybe we have to get that pullback first, and then near in the end of October into November, things kind of come right back. And then if you look, November being pretty explosive. And I've always performed the best coming in at October, November, buying stuff like near the end of the year. And then usually by like spring, like March, April, you can kind of offload a lot of names and stuff. So that is what I'm looking forward towards. But still got to consider, Jan Barometer stuff. Maybe there is one more big sell-off. Who knows? This is the first time the Jan Barometer study has started to kind of like disconnect, in my opinion. For most of the year, it's been following it pretty accurately. But now, things are kind of slowing down and starting to a little bit disconnect. But
it's been really spot on.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, you look at the equity markets too. Equity has been pretty strong. Like, we're constantly breaking all-time highs. We talked about these moving averages as support. So those held up pretty well last couple weeks ago. And so the same thing, like, I don't see any signs of this slowing down just yet. There's no real bearish structure quite yet. I think if anything, we're just going to have to keep retesting these moving averages. And then as long as these moving averages hold, I do believe this uptrend is still intact. And if the equity market's still going to keep pumping higher and higher, then I don't see why crypto won't follow as well.
Yeah, I mean, continue. Who was it? Stephen Miller was just talking about a 50 basis point cut for the next one. So going to be hard to be the markets to be bearish when we're getting massive cuts. Fed getting close to QE. So whether I think October is just going to be the real defining month here of what whether we're going to go up real hot and fast or we're going to get a little more of a slow burn through the end of the year.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're going to do 50-point cut, eh? Interesting. I didn't know.
That's what he's pushing for. He was also pushing for that at the in the September cut, the first one. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. You can never know with those guys.
Yeah, definitely. This is something that I kind of want to go through. Wait, sorry?
Oh, is FOMC this month or next month?
I actually don't know. Let me check the calendar here.
Because it skips 1 month here. I don't know if it skips October or if it skips November.
Probably October because we just had it last month.
Yeah, but there was a possibility of 3 rate cuts before the end of the year. We had September, and then
yeah, I think it's gonna be next month.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't go further after 25th, so I'm gonna have to wait again. But yeah, this probably November.
Cool.
But anyways, this is kind of what I want to show as well. This is like my trading mentor, my previous mentor, Brian Beamish. So he does a lot of these cool like cycle studies, and he likes to do a lot of these like kind of comparisons of previous cycles. So you can see from previous cycles of how the market kind of moves, like where it tops out, where it kind of bottoms out, and then where it kind of starts to rebase and blow off. So right now, if we're looking at the cycle pivot that we are all expecting, right, whether it be going into 2026 or whatever, we're kind of in that last leg, big push. We did just break all-time highs. And so, what his point of message was like, look, we're at the stage where things are starting to get pretty exhausting. If you're in profits, you got to make sure to have a plan of like taking profits rather than riding things back down. We're clearly not at the beginning of a new bull cycle, right? We're closer to the end of a bull cycle. So knowing that, it's good to have a plan of whether, you want to take profits now, or you want to take profits with a little bit more, or you want to risk a bit more. But just understanding that, like, if we are following this 4-year cycle, the pivot is pretty near, and things are supposed to, slow down. But Bitcoin generally at the end of the cycle has a pretty big blow off top move almost every time. These massive big blow off tops. So whatever the rest of the move is left, I think after that, like I'll probably be aggressively taking profits, and hopefully everybody has their trading plan in order. But this is a kind of fun study. If you are interested, you can search up Brian Beamish on Twitter, and yeah.
Nice. Pulled up quick here the Fed rate cuts for the rest of the year. So it would actually be October, December. So we have a FOMC meeting October 28, 29, and December 9, 10. And they're expecting October, December cuts, but there's no meeting in November.
Okay, interesting.
According to Chat, it's been wrong before, but that's
well, hopefully the rate cut will give us another big push here, because I'm long all these alts, man. I came back yesterday, or I came back Sunday night, and then Monday I was just trying to catch up to the charts and stuff, and then yesterday finally got my feet wet and was like, okay, market's hot, like things are pumping, but I might have eagerly jumped into a lot of these trades again. Like not complete full setups, which is kind of bad on my end, but I did like some of these double bottoms that are trying to come in. We did have some previous bull divs behind here as well, kind of near these reload zones, a little bit out of the range, but Whiff was one that I kind of picked up. Uniswap was another one that I aggressively try to buy this breakout, which now I'm kind of regretting. And this is kind of what happens when you don't have your perfect setups and you kind of start bending the rules and getting out. You can kind of get yourself in kind of these messy situations. But I'll still keep these trades open while kind of monitoring these swing trades. So Uniswap was another one that I entered. Was trying to buy that breakout, but it looks like we're kind of getting pushed back down. Bonk was another one that I kind of liked. This one's actually within the reload zone. We do have a bullish divergence. Didn't quite hit oversold conditions, but I did like the double bottom that I came back in here. So we are a little bit in profit still, but things are kind of coming back down. But these are just quick little swing trades that I'm looking to do again, kind of how we did back here. If the market holds, great. If not, then we just hop off. No big deal. We're not betting the farm on any of these trades. We're very careful with the risk. I never risk more than 5% in one trade idea. Most of these only have 1 to 2% within these trades. So, but we do have a 200 SMA as support there as well. So I figured this was kind of a nice little area. to hold and trade. What else did I pick up? I picked up some Say as well. I thought Say was looking kind of okay. I like that 38.2 consolidation. I like this kind of like sideways wide range that we've been kind of forming. So I do like this double bottom breakout. So kind of like the same thing on Uniswap. I was trying to buy that breakout of this range here. And then just doing like a small little like 2-to-1 swing trade right up against these previous highs. Momentum wise, these aren't like the best setups because again, you don't have the full bull divs and stuff like that. But location wise and structure wise and whatnot, I did take some risk here. I think Link was another one that I picked up as well. Again, kind of these like wide double bottoms. Ideally, I would have wanted to get in closer to these bottoms down here, but I missed it. And so I was trying to get this next little kind of breakout level here. This one does have a potential bull div trying to pull in here. Actually, it is confirmed now, so that's good. Didn't quite hit oversold conditions though, but 38.2 is holding. We got the double bottom, so hopefully we can kind of get a nice little breakout here. A lot of these are going to probably be dependent on if Bitcoin and ETH can hold here. What I'm noticing is, anytime Bitcoin and ETH breaks down a little bit, these alts starts getting slammed like pretty fast. Also picked up some Linea. I did like Linea just up against these like bottoms here. Again, trying to get this double bottom to confirm. A little bit front run here, but that's all right. I'm willing to risk a pretty small window of risk against these lows. So pretty comfortable just holding that trade there for now. Dolomite is another one that I was really liking. You're in the reload zone. You got the double bottoms trying to come in. You have the bullish divergence and you had the oversold conditions. So I did like that trade as well. And then, I think that's kind of most of the newer kind of stuff that I picked up yesterday. And now just kind of waiting and seeing how the market does. But, there are some names that are just doing, really weird explosive moves. If you look at Mantle's been pretty hot as well. So, on names like these, I'll just kind of wait till the pullbacks come back down and we can get some kind of consolidation. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's just, again, we're just sitting and waiting and watching how ETH and Bitcoin holds.
Our favorite thing to do, waiting.
Yeah, sitting and waiting.
Well, solid, man. Anything else you want to look at on the charts? Otherwise, we'll do a little recap of the conferences and take a look at some breaking stories.
No, that's it. That's all I got for the charts today. We can jump right in.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
All right. But so we just got back from KBW and Token. Korean Blockchain Week out in Seoul. We were out there first week of the last 2 weeks. Both were great. A lot of great introductions, a lot of great food. Met with a lot of our partners face to face. And that's primarily what we're doing when we go to these things. Looking to obviously meet new teams to work with, whether that's on the M&A or OTC side, as well as new buyers on both sides. But really, it's a great time to go and get a face-to-face chat with people that we've been working with in the industry for a long time. Because, in this industry, it's very common to never have met those people face-to-face. So it really helps to strengthen those relationships for both parties. When we can get together, sit down, have a coffee, have a beer, have a bite to eat, and get some talks about, what's really going on in the market and where we see things going, what we're bullish on, et cetera. So shout out to everybody that took the time to sit down and chat with us over the last 2 weeks. What were kind of some of the big trends you saw both at KBW and Token, or maybe any core differences between the two?
Yeah, I mean, I would say they're pretty similar in terms of what most people are talking about. The main thing was like tokenization of everything. That was definitely one. RWAs seem to be pretty popular. A lot of talks about DATs. So a lot of these DAT raises are still pretty popular, it seems. Perp dexes in Korea. A lot of conversations I had was about perp dexes in Korea. Not so much in token, but definitely in Korea. You got Lighter, Pacifica, EdgeX, etc. And yeah, that was kind of really about it. Like, didn't really hear much about anything else. It was just like tokenization, RWA, perp deck season.
Stablecoins.
Stablecoins, right.
Yeah.
Stablecoins as well, yes.
Yeah, those were definitely the 4 hot topics on everybody's mind. Obviously, tokenization in RWA is super expansive and includes a lot of different things. But in terms of hot sectors, I don't think there's anything more hot, or at least not as broad as tokenization and RWA stuff. Perptex is definitely a hot one on everybody's mind. A lot of the new potential M&A buyers that we talk to want some kind of Perptex tech or perp tech to incorporate into their ecosystem, which, I mean, obviously look at the numbers of what they're doing out there. Well, whether or not you can believe some of those numbers, apparently Aster's been getting themselves a little suspicious, a little trouble here. Looking like the volumes on Aster a little too close to the volumes on Binance itself.
Yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts were on this, but
it's all fake. It's all fake volume. Like, it's already been proven. People are like, fuck these guys. But like, at the end of the day, like, you're not betting on the platform. You're betting on CZ, right?
Yep.
So that's the only reason why this token's doing well or whatever pumps is just because of CZ. Like, Aster, if you try trading on it, it's such a piece of shit platform. Like, it's the worst DEX I've ever used. Probably won't ever use it. Have no interest. If you want to gamble and play the games there, go for it. But yeah, I mean, there's way better platforms and products that are actually, real.
Yeah, where's I had one here from CZ. Is it this one? No. Anyways, yeah, that's something that is going to be interesting the next, between now and the end of the cycle. We've got CZ, we've got Brian Armstrong over at Coinbase. We've got Justin Sun with Tron. You've got, the teams at Aptos, and, most of the other big players in the L1, L2 scene are doing some kind of perpdex thing, are looking to put more on-chain volume and bring people into their ecosystem. They're all sitting on mountains of cash right now. Coinbase notoriously has been waiting to deploy. CZ, switching from Binance to Binance, Binance acquiring Aster, like their moves are starting to be made. And the farther we get into this cycle, they're going to start deploying. I don't see these guys waiting till next cycle to deploy and start trying to, drive on-chain volumes. I don't know. Maybe we have some weird event that no one saw coming, and the markets, downturn from here, and they don't. But if we start seeing Bitcoin really chase new serious all-time highs, I would imagine we start to see this billionaire pissing competition where they're fighting for people to, devs to come on chain, projects to come on their network, users to come on their network, transaction volumes to increase, and they're going to start deploying capital. And of course, the biggest winners are going to be all of us that enjoy the pumps. I would imagine that would be where we would see pre-sales come back, IDOs start popping off. You're going to need new projects coming into the ecosystem. Memes would definitely probably come back. We would see retail start to move back into the space. And of course, that's where we finally get the real alt season that we've all been waiting for. And the longer these guys are spending money, the more ETF flows that are coming in, the crazier and longer that can be. I don't think these guys want to start deploying tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars into their ecosystems if everything's going to collapse in December. So yeah, I think that would be a good sign that we'll at least make it to Q1 next year. But I guess that hasn't started yet. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed the big boys start getting into dick swinging competition here in the next month or two. That could be some fireworks for the rest of the cycle here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely keep my eyes on Lighter's airdrop because, like, right now it's all about the airdrop farming of these perfexes. We'll see if Lighter can still keep up its like open interest and daily volume after the airdrop, and then also we'll see how successful these drops can become, right? Because at that point, after that, it's just going to be a race battle of, okay, which one's next? Which one's next?
Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting stuff, not necessarily a perp dex, but in terms of kind of dark horses coming up. Linea, just last week while we were at the event, gets the announcement that Swift is going to be doing like their onboarding and building out their Web3 system on Linea. I don't think anybody was expecting that. So could see that could be another one to keep an eye on as well. If you're looking for, potential altcoin gains. Yeah, I mean, Linea hasn't been doing a whole hell of a lot this year here. So this might be something that sends them. But these are the kind of things we're looking for, is this institutional adoption. I really think this is the institutional cycle. I was talking to a lot of different people about this at the conferences. We always talk about, mass retail adoption. Well, the internet's a great example. The internet started building in the 80s. We didn't get retail adoption until we had institutional adoption. Like we didn't get real mass retail adoption in Web3 until we had Facebook and cell phones, right? Until we had the infrastructure in place where it was easy to use. And you had a real, demand to go on there and actually use it. We haven't had that. Right now, we're seeing the institutions come in. Right now, we're seeing the regulatory stuff get cleared up. We're seeing, the big boys get in the game. We're looking at trillions of dollars in stable coins coming on. Like, in my opinion, until we have that, until we get the institutional bull run and the institutional cycle, we're not going to get the retail cycle. So, things like this, Swift onboarding into Linea, those are the kind of things that I'm super bullish on. I think that we need to look for the rest of this cycle to kind of find which of these alts are going to be the real big winners, and look for the more retail play stuff probably next cycle. I don't see, maybe gaming doesn't happen this cycle. Maybe we got to wait a little bit longer for that. SocialFi is another one I would avoid like the plague.
Fuck SocialFi. Oh my God. No, this is great for Linea. I mean, it's great for my bags. I just picked up some Linea and gets these lows. Hopefully they can actually execute and bring some buys in, and this isn't just some, news announcement bullshit. But yeah, I mean, until there's real adoption and whatnot, like if I can just buy crypto through my banking app that I already have set up, right? Mm-hmm. Then it should be easy for retail to kind of jump into this, but still there's this barrier of having to set up wallets and yada yada, a lot of scams and yada yada. So I definitely don't see retail right now. I don't see any new fresh retail either. Even at these conferences we're at, it's just the same people we've seen the last 4 years. Sure. So yeah, I mean, something's got to change, right?
Well, and outside of that, obviously DeFi and trading and speculation is a huge component of why people want to get into Web3. But, when we talk to people in a number of different fields, DePIN, DeSci, gaming, social projects, whatever it happens to be, we're still at the stage where they're trying to sell the Web3 component of it. In my opinion, you're never going to have retail adoption when you got to sell someone on the Web3 component of it. If you had to sell me on how email works or how instant messenger works and here's how it's cool and you need to do this, this, and this, that's not when we got adoption for that stuff. It's when I can go on a cell phone and go beep and it goes and I don't know what's happening in the background. Once we have, tools outside of, trading and banking, things, for, DePIN networks, for CDNs, for gaming, or for whatever, decentralized cell phone, decentralized whatever, all these cool projects you see out there that are talking about doing different things. When we get past the point where we're trying to sell consumers on the benefits of blockchain and tokenization, et cetera, and they just get on the app because it works and it's faster, it's cheaper, it's whatever, and they don't need to know what's behind there. That's the only point you're going to get real actual adoption.
Yeah.
Circling back a little charts here, total 3 for the first time. Trying to break out on the weekly. First time since 2021. We're so close. Bitcoin, please. If Bitcoin dumps, how does this hold? But yeah, I mean, even if we retrace back under here, if Bitcoin dumps back to 115 or whatever it happens to be, even if the rest of October is red, by the end of the year, I think we get this breakout on Total 3 and get that alt season finally kicking off.
It would be nice, man. This has been a very muted cycle.
Yeah. Well, and again, this is why we tell people like DCA is always the best. Like if you're not a trader, I'm not a trader. I play around with a few bets here and there, but it's a very small part of what I do. It's a very small part of my portfolio. It's long shot stuff. It's money I can afford to lose. DCA and HODL, hold your bags long term. Don't be out there trying to flip your bags and lose your ass. Don't pull a Germany. This has been cycling around a lot recently. So with the new all-time high from last year, literally just over a year, when Germany sold nearly 50,000 Bitcoin at 57,900, with hitting the 124, it was at today. They're down $3.3 billion on that trade. So hold your bags, guys.
Yeah, I mean, but Bitcoin for sure. Like Bitcoin's a no-brainer, I think, at this point. Alt's definitely a little bit trickier because you really got to pick the right ones there. But with Bitcoin, it's like solid. Like,
yeah. In the vein of what we're talking about with RWA, with mass retail adoption, et cetera, Robinhood CEO, not necessarily people's favorite guy in Web3 or TradFi for that matter. Robinhood has had many incidences here, but he's talking about real estate tokenization, saying it's a freight train. They've got the tech figured out. It's just really waiting on regulations. That is one of the biggest things when we talk about RWA and tokenization. Talk to multiple projects, tokenizing real estate opportunities all over the world. Definitely don't disagree with him on that. The timing of that is going to be interesting, and we still do need that regulatory stuff to come through. But overall, yes, I agree. Real estate tokenization is a big one. However, guys, if you are going to invest in tokenized real estate, please don't do it on Robinhood. Educate yourselves. There's going to be lots of great platforms out there. Again, it goes back to a centralized platform versus a decentralized platform. Do you want to have actual control of your tokens? Do you want Robinhood to come in and turn the sell switch off, as they have multiple times throughout history? If you want to deal with their outages, Robinhood currently experiencing outages, right? Yes, great to see big public exposure for stuff like that. Robinhood, massive name. But hopefully, as we start to onboard the normies, they're watching shows like this one right here, and can understand how to get themselves set up in the right areas, not the wrong areas. BNB, absolute beast, another all-time high here.
Crazy.
Over $1,200 per BNB. Started at 10 cents. 10 cents. That was what, 2019, 6 years ago?
Oh yeah. I mean, who would have thought, right? Like massive run. And then, in 10 years, this thing might be like 10K,
very reasonable. Very reasonable to think that. So, look for now's not necessarily the time. If you're DCN, it doesn't matter, but don't chase. There is going to be another bear market, whether we get a typical bear market, whether you believe the 4-year cycle is broken or not. I kind of tend to believe it is, but that doesn't mean we're not going to get bear markets. It doesn't mean we're not going to get pullbacks, significant pullbacks. I would almost guarantee once we see Bitcoin top out, whether that's into this year or middle of next year, whatever it happens to be, it's going to pull back 40, 50, 60%, maybe more. Traditionally it's 70%-ish. Do we get that again? I don't know. But does that mean it's, we're only going to see 10% pullbacks on Bitcoin ever again? No, absolutely not. We're going to get 30, 40, maybe bigger dips on Bitcoin, especially when we get that bear market, which means alts like BNB are going to retrace significantly further. So that's when you want to be aping, not when she's setting new all-time highs. Yeah,
it's pretty wild, man. What a wild run.
But see, this is predicated on a number of things, because in reality, what other than rewind before Aster and before CZ changed from X Binance to Binance, when was the last time you heard anything about BNB? There's nothing going on that network. They're not launching new products. They're not making. They haven't had big announcements like upgrading the tech or new grants program. It's been radio silence. There's really two things that have driven this. It's CZ flipping from X to Binance, and buying Aster, and just people speculating on CZ getting back in the game. I'm sure he's been doing some buying as well. So if this is what we see without any actual traction on chain, like imagine what happens if they actually start deploying capital and we get that billionaire dick swinging competition that we talked about previously. This could get real exciting, and not just for BNB, for a number of other altcoins and L1s and L2s.
Yeah, crazy times. Come on, CZ, make us rich. Let's go.
Let's do it, baby. Larry Fink, the bull, man, saying crypto is going to $15 trillion this cycle. That's a little over a 3x from where we're sitting at currently. I think we're just above $4 trillion total market cap for crypto at this point right now. So that'd be an over 3x from where we are. I mean, a 3x would on the total market cap would it mean at least a 5x for Bitcoin from here. Alts would be going absolutely berserk.
We don't know.
That's a world that's hard to even think about at this point.
Yeah, I mean, my instant reaction is to be like, okay, what's the opposite of this guy? Larry Fink, he needs exit liquidity. How do we trick people to buy? Well, we tell people to buy because we tell them it's 15 trillion.
Yeah,
that's my instant reaction. But who knows? A lot of people think the market's going to scream higher and higher, which is very possible. But 15 trillion, it's a lot for this cycle. This cycle's like, we're almost done. Are we not? Right. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I hope we aren't done. I hope we go on a 10-year bull run like gold did after the ETFs. But do I think it's likely? No. I mean, I do think that and if it is likely, there's going to be a major shakeout in between. Like there's something, if we're about to go on, multi more years of this cycle, like expect a massive amount of fuckery between now and early Q1 to try and shake everybody out of here, so that these big dogs can get in and get even better positions than they have now. They're not going to let us just go on this nice up and to the right for 10 years here. They know how the crypto psychology works. They know that there's kind of two camps here: people that believe into this year start cashing things out, and there's people that think we're going to go long. They're going to make both sides feel like they're right and wrong over the next couple months. So that's the game they play. But yeah, you're 100% right. When the guy who's been buying Bitcoin for the most amount of Bitcoin since it bottomed out in 2015 is telling you, don't worry, it's going to go on a lot higher than this. You should definitely buy my bags. That's something to be take note of. But yeah, it doesn't hurt the image of Bitcoin. Doesn't hurt the Google searches here. BTC seen a massive surge and spike over the last 7 days here. I'd like to zoom out on this chart and see how historically this is looking. We were bottomed out when we left for conference. We were pretty bottomed out on Google searches for Bitcoin. So good to see some life coming back into there. But how short-lived will it be? You know how fickle the normies are when it comes. They hear all-time high, they're going to start surging. But if we get any sort of dump back down, it's gone.
I think it's mainly because of token, man. Literally that week is all token.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just people fucking at token searching up Bitcoin. What's the price of Bitcoin?
I think this is one of the more important charts here. It's fun to look at fees and stuff. But is the chain making money? Are they getting fake hype? Are they getting fake speculation? Or is there actually some on-chain action happening? BNB, number one, obviously makes sense as they're ripping to all-time highs. Hyperliquid makes sense. They're the most profitable per employee organization in the entire world, not just in Web3, but in crypto as well. Over $100 million per employee, $1.4 billion this year with only 11 employees. Solana, Tron, Ethereum, Bitcoin, none of this is surprising seeing up here. The ones that we really, we need to start seeing, if Linea, if Ton, if, Sui, Avalanche, Arbitrum, if they're going to have a shot at being a real player in this industry, they need on-chain volume. Doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank. If you can't find a way to attract and keep users, cash out. Follow story protocol and get out. Like,
Oh God.
so, but good to see that a lot of these guys that are pumping right now are actually making some money as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we got here. A few other kind of random side bullish stories here. Gold hits new all-time high. It's up over 50% this year, outpacing Bitcoin's 33.5%. But
Damn.
if that is a thing, it's people's lack of faith in the dollar.
Yes. It's also why Bitcoin's going up, is because of the freaking dollar so bad, right? 100%. Bitcoin is the hedge against the devaluation of our dollars. So
yeah.
Same with gold.
Whether you bought when we were telling you back at 70, 80K, or whether you bought at 818K, or whether you're buying right now at 125K, remember that 5 years from now, maybe in 5 weeks, you might not be happy. Maybe in 5 months, you might not be happy. But in 5 years from now, it is a proven point. Bitcoin has never been lower at any given point in 5 years if you just hold on to it. And certainly in 50 years from now, if you're still holding onto your Bitcoin, I think you'll be extremely pleased with your decision. So look at the signs of the times. Fiat is doomed. Whether the dollar just happens to be the best of a basket of dog shit. So it's can's been kicked pretty dang far down the road. Smart people are realizing that gold's pumping, Bitcoin's pumping. Where do we go from here? Well, I'm gonna magic 8-ball, but could probably make a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
So that's probably all I got for today. We're about 45, 46 minutes.
Nice.
I'm gonna rest my voice over the weekend. Next week we will be back on maybe with a little bit different format. We'll play around a little bit with some setups here, but we're actually doing our team offsite. Myself, Jan, and Andrew will all be in the same room. So maybe we'll have a little more podcast-esque style. Maybe we'll bring in some surprise guests, some of the other Acquire.Fi crew. But definitely tune in next week. We got some fun stuff going on. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in here. Thanks for bearing with us with some pretty shattered voices, maybe a little lower energy than normal, coming off of 2 weeks of the grind. But yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. Definitely check out the Telegram channel. There's going to be some sick deal flow popping in there as we follow up with a lot of great contacts we made over the last 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Catch you guys later this week.
See ya.